The sunlight spilled through tall glass windows, flooding the marble floor with warmth. Outside, the garden bloomed in wild colors, roses swaying in the soft wind. "Mommy is strict." "Like a villainess," Rose announced, her tiny arms crossed, her cheeks puffed like dumplings. I blinked at her, trying not to laugh. "Oh, a villainess?" "Yes," she giggled, her dark curls bouncing. "Mommy always says no sweets before dinner, no climbing trees, no staying up late." Her eyes sparkled mischievously as she turned to Lucien. "But Daddy? Daddy is a hero. He never stops me from doing anything." Lucien's lips tugged into the faintest of smiles, a rare sight. To the world, he was Lucien Rain, the ruthless CEO who built his empire from nothing, the illegitimate son no one dared speak about. But here, in the quiet of our home, he was simply Rose's father. Aunt Rain, standing nearby with her usual warm presence, threw her head back and laughed. "Out of the mouths of babes," she teased, wiping her eyes. I crossed my arms, feigning offense. "So that's how it is? Mommy is the villainess and Daddy is the hero?" Rose threw her arms around both of us, her laughter bubbling like spring water. "I love you both anyway." Lucien's eyes lifted to mine, dark and endless. That quiet smile remained, one only Rose and I were ever allowed to see, and in that gaze, I felt the world melt away. For the first time in years, I was at peace. But peace hadn't always been mine. There was a time when I didn't know who my hero truly was, when I mistook shadows for light, and ignored the hand that had always been reaching for me. The memory returned, sharp as yesterday. The rain, the loneliness, the face I couldn't see. And my story began there. The schoolyard was loud with laughter, but not for me. "Elena Saren, the useless one," a girl sneered, pushing me against the wall. "Why are you even here?" "Your family doesn't care about you," another added, her eyes full of cruel joy. They shoved me again. My books fell into the mud. Everyone laughed. My chest hurt, and my eyes burned. I wanted to speak, to fight back, but the words stuck in my throat. So I ran. I ran past the classrooms, past the playground, until I reached the empty back of the gym. My breath came in short gasps. My knees were shaking. Tears fell before I could stop them. Why is it always me?" I whispered to myself. Then, shouts broke out. Thud, thud. The sound of fists, screams. The bullies who had hurt me earlier now lay on the ground, groaning. I peeked from the corner, my heart racing. "It was Adrian Hale," someone whispered in awe. "He beat them all." Adrian. My eyes widened. The tall boy with cold eyes stood there, silent, brushing the dirt from his hands. My heart leapt. He helped me? At that moment, I believed he was my savior. The next day, I gathered my courage. Adrian Hale was surrounded by his friends near the courtyard. His tall figure stood out, his cold eyes watching the world like nothing could touch him. "Adrian," I whispered, walking closer. "Can I talk to you?" He didn't even look at me. "Wait." So I waited. The bell rang. The courtyard emptied. His friends laughed, joked, and left. But he never came. The sky darkened. Raindrops began to fall. Soon I was soaked from head to toe. My fingers trembled as I held my books against my chest. Maybe he forgot. Maybe he doesn't care. Then suddenly, warmth. An umbrella appeared over me. I gasped and turned, but the boy had already run off. I never saw his face. My heart whispered, "Was it Adrian?" I held on to that thought like a lifeline. At home, things were no better. "Elena, you are useless," my mother snapped as I entered the dining room. "You shame this family," my father said coldly. "Your sister Celeste shines. Your brother Victor excels. And you? Nothing." Their words stabbed me deeper than the bullies ever could. Then Celeste smirked, brushing her shiny hair. "But father, I heard Elena was trying to get close to Adrian Hale." The room grew silent. Father's eyes narrowed. "Is this true?" My lips trembled. "Yes." For the first time, their voices softened. "Then do it," Father ordered. "Make Adrian your friend. If he favors you, our family will benefit." I lowered my head. They didn't care about me, only the power I could bring. That evening, I stood outside Adrian's dorm. Students passed by, whispering, "Why is she waiting?" He won't even look at her. Finally, Adrian arrived, late as always. His cold eyes landed on me. "You want to be my friend?" His voice was sharp. "Then give me a reason." Laughter echoed around me. My cheeks burned. I opened my mouth, but no words came. He walked past me without a glance. Still, I didn't give up. Day after day, I tried. I brought him food and water during football matches. I clapped and cheered until my throat hurt. But he never looked at me, not once. Still, I told myself, he helped me before, he must care. One afternoon, my stomach growled in class. I had no lunch. When I returned to my desk, a small food parcel waited there. I blinked in surprise. Who? Later, when my sneakers tore, a brand new pair appeared in my locker. No note, no explanation. I touched them with trembling fingers. My heart whispered, "Adrian? It must be him." But deep inside, I wondered. One evening, shouts echoed near the gates. Adrian was fighting. No, he was fighting Lucien Rain. Lucien, the boy with a bad reputation, the illegitimate son, the one everyone whispered about. I ran forward, panic filling my chest. "Adrian!" I cried. Lucien froze the moment he heard me. His fist stopped midair, but Adrian didn't. His punch struck Lucien hard, knocking him back. Lucien's eyes met mine for just a second. They weren't angry. They were filled with pain. And confusion took root in my heart. From that day onward, the gifts stopped. No more food parcels, no more sneakers, no more umbrellas. The hidden savior had disappeared. I waited, but he never came back. Years later, on the day of the college entrance exam, I made a reckless choice. If my hidden savior was real, he would come for me. As a car sped toward the crosswalk, I stepped forward. "Elena!" voices screamed. Adrian stood nearby. He saw me, but he didn't move. My heart broke. Then, strong arms grabbed me, pulling me out of danger. Blood trickled from my arm, but when I looked up, I saw him. Lucien. His dark eyes trembled as he held me tight. I smiled weakly, whispering, "So it was you." Before the world faded to black, when I opened my eyes, the room was empty. No parents, no siblings, no Adrian, only Lucien. He sat silently beside me, his hand resting near mine. For days he stayed. He helped me eat, helped me walk, made sure I healed. But he never spoke of that day, never confessed. And I, foolishly, waited for him to say the words. Time passed. I became an artist. My hands painted the feelings I couldn't speak. Adrian became a CEO. His ex left him but now wanted him back. Lucien, too, became a CEO. Every year, without fail, flowers arrived on my birthday. No name was written, but I knew. My parents still pushed me toward Adrian. His family did the same. But my heart, it waited. If Lucien did not confess, then this time, I would. The chandeliers glittered like stars. Tonight, Adrian's family and mine were set to announce our engagement. His ex, Celine, approached me with venom in her eyes. "You don't deserve him." I smiled bitterly. "You're right. But I don't beg for leftovers either." Gasps rippled. Then Adrian stepped forward. The music stopped. "Elena Sarin," he said, "I propose to you." My heart ached. Tears filled my eyes, not from joy, but from years of pain. "You're too late, Adrian," I whispered. "Far too late." The hall froze. My parents shouted, accusing me of betrayal. But I stood tall. "You never loved me. You only loved what I could give you. I am not your pawn." As soon as the words left my lips, "You're too late, Adrian," the hall fell silent. Then my father's voice roared, "Elena! How dare you humiliate us in front of the Hale family?" My mother's eyes burned. "You ungrateful child. We gave you everything, and this is how you repay us?" I stood tall, my heart pounding, but my voice steady. "No," I said firmly, my eyes locking on theirs. "You never gave me everything. You gave me nothing but shame." Gasps rippled across the ballroom. "You only praised Celeste. You only boasted about Victor. For me, you had no kind words, no warmth, no love. My voice trembled, but I lifted my chin higher. You wanted me to chase Adrian not because you cared about my happiness, but because you wanted his power, his family name, his wealth. To you, I was never a daughter. I was a tool. My father's face twisted in anger, but I didn't stop. Tonight I throw away your chains. I am not your pawn. I am not your shame. I am Elena Saren. No, Elena Rain. At that moment, Lucien stepped forward, his arm wrapping protectively around me, his cold gaze silencing everyone. She belongs to me now. And unlike you, I will never throw her away. The room erupted in whispers. My parents' faces turned pale, but I felt lighter than ever before. For the first time in my life, I had spoken the truth. Adrian's anger flared. He reached for me, but before he could, a shadow moved. Lucien. He wrapped his arm around me, his voice low and dangerous. No one touches what's mine. Gasps echoed through the ballroom. Everyone stared in shock. And for the first time, I wasn't afraid, because he had finally spoken the truth. From that day, the world knew. Elena Saren was not weak, not useless, not a pawn. I was Elena Rain. Lucien and I married, and in time, our daughter Rose was born. Now, as she laughs in the garden, calling me a villainess and Lucien a hero, I smile. Because at last, I know the truth. The villain everyone feared was the man who loved me most.
Lucien's POV from the very first day I saw her. Elena, she was timid, quiet, yet beautiful in a way that made my chest ache. The world treated her like she was invisible, but I couldn't look away. When the bullies cornered her, I wanted to step in. But Adrian was faster, stealing the glory. She looked at him with those bright eyes, the eyes I wished would turn to me. So instead, I helped her from the shadows, the umbrella in the rain, the warm food when she was hungry, the new sneakers when hers tore. I left them quietly, without a name. I wanted to protect her, not scare her. But every time she smiled at Adrian, believing he was her savior, it cut me. Still, I stayed silent. Because I was the illegitimate son, the one with the bad reputation. How could I ever stand beside her? Then came that fight. He struck me, and she rushed to shield him. She never knew the one bleeding for her was me. That day, I stopped sending gifts. I thought maybe she was happier without me. But I watched. Always watched. Then, the exam day. She threw herself in front of a car. My heart stopped. No. Elena, I ran faster than I ever had in my life. Blood covered her, and I caught her in my arms. She smiled at me before fainting, as if she had finally seen me. That night, sitting by her hospital bed, I realized how foolish I had been. If she had died without knowing my feelings, my whole life would have been meaningless. So I decided I would become a man worthy of her. A man who could stand in the light, not just the shadows. Years passed. She grew stronger, an artist with eyes full of dreams. I grew too, carving my place in the business world. But I never stopped sending her flowers each birthday. It was my silent confession. Then came the ballroom. I was late, too late, because I was buying the ring. The one I wanted to place on her finger, the one to tell her she was mine. When I entered, I saw Adrian standing before her and her parents pressing her. My blood boiled, but then I heard her voice, strong, brave. Elena, no longer timid. She cut them down with words sharper than any blade, my Elena. I stepped forward, slipping the ring into my pocket, and spoke the truth I had buried for years. No one touches what's mine. For the first time, I claimed her openly, and she chose me. Now, years later, as I sit in the garden watching Rose laugh in Elena's lap, my heart feels full. "Daddy is a hero," Rose says, hugging me. I glance at Elena. She shakes her head with a playful smile, pretending to be annoyed. No, she doesn't know. The real hero has always been her. because Elena saved me.